Live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth, Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino coming to you live from Clare Court on the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course. And I kid you not, it is another spectacular morning.
It is gorgeous. Horses been enjoying it behind us all morning and obviously in front of us as well. But we can kind of hear the reaction, watch the reaction. As they say, they have been enjoying the nice weather here. There was some bad news. Well, it came in the weather forecast last night, and I guess this is part of the purview. But I was watching one of the stations last night. Last night, the last sunset after 8 o'clock until May. Tonight it's 7:59. So
that's how it works. Damn. In the, what's this, week 5, Alabama week? And for the old men get off the lawn and women, 24 days in the book, which was always a relevant number in these parts.
We'd be out.
And I was trying to think, with all the adjustments, this would have been Travers week. Once you got to the teams, it was Travers week, right?
That would have, because
they're usually out of here by like the 24th.
Yeah.
You know, 24th to the 28th, they're usually out of here. So, but we have 16 days of racing. Remember, 3 full weeks, plus obviously closing day on Labor Day. And, these are the 2 big weeks, the Alabama, the Travers, and then, Spinaway / hopeful. But, revving up to the finish. But 24 in the books, 16 to go. And that's just from the, the classic meet. As I said, I've been counting the Independence Day meet in my stats. So that's why they're a little off. As I said, with not this time, how many winners he had. Well, one of them was July 5th, so on and so forth. But that's why I'm a little off. But here we are.
We're all a little off. 3 opening days.
I think that's right. I think there's 3 opening days. Not so sure that's going to happen again. They haven't. Are they talked about the July 4th thing next year yet?
My thing, and it wasn't my idea. I heard somebody else say it. With Aqueduct wrapping up, I think they should
literally
just have some spectacular down there on July.
Literally,
yeah,
wrapping up
and just send it off appropriately. But I don't think any decisions have been made that I've heard.
We'll see. The only decision we know for sure is they'll run the Belmont Stakes up here.
Yeah.
For the 3rd and we presume final time at 1.25 miles. So there you have it. Have you had the Batiste family on yet?
No. I ran into Paul at the the other night.
I would have Paul Batiste on every single day in the opening slot. I will say that for the first time for me, the situation at Finger Lakes has me worried at a new highest level.
It was funny, but the pools are so small. I'm not, but yeah. And if you didn't see Paul's
very analytical takedown, it's hard. You have to read it. If you're a veteran of this, it's hard to imagine that only $10 was bet on the favorite to show in the last flash. It just,
what happened if you didn't see the post? The gates open. Jock falls up the favorite, right?
Yes,
Jock falls up the favorite, and the odds.
I mean, there was like $2,500 bet in that last flash. That's not, and only $10. That's
it was a little suspicious.
That's troublesome. That and I I've known Paul since 1991. I do not expect him to do it, but I suspect he'd be on the right path. That if I took a look at all of the shorter price favorites at Finger Lakes for the last 5 years, at no point were they $10 bet in the show pool in the last click at a 2,500. And that's where you begin to think like, well, why would this be the time? What is so different about this? The jockey's on the dirt. So I think that's the first crack to legitimately look at the betting in a more serious nature.
One of my questions is, and I meant to look it up, is the Thoroughbred Protective Bureau still out there? And they were the group that
was that started after the Aluminum incident.
I don't know when it was started.
There's nobody protecting anybody.
They were the group that supposedly was watching wagering across the country. And I don't know whether they're still intact.
I haven't heard from them in a long time.
I haven't heard from them either. That's why I wonder if
I mean, if they haven't been found of late with all the wagering stuff, when are we going to hear from them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure they're still in.
No, there's no way they could exist.
But I don't know why they would have been disbanded. So, I mean, I meant to look it up. I will try to inform people. But
disbanded because nobody cared. It's like there's no momentum, no energy, no money. Nobody cares. So it's and I don't think this will go anywhere either. I think Paul has, been a beacon on Twitter of something you're just not going to see in the newspaper or hear talked about on television or anything. What do you think of? I know you probably don't get to see the Fox coverage too much, but the Corky race versus the incident was about a 50-1 discussion. They never talk about exactas or anything on that. It is not. It's amazing what they talk about. Like the Corky race was like a Kentucky Derby thing. And I'm like,
I thought the Corky race was fun, but it was probably a little overblown.
Can I get an exacta probable pay, situation? But
and I will
apparently
say,
that's not the right market.
I will say it was fun to see the Corgi in the wheelchair, for lack of a better word, get the big applause. Right. But I see where you're going, and I, as I say, it was maybe a little bit overblown. And the statement that was put out.
Word salad?
The statement that was put out on paper and then was kind of replayed with the Stewards review video was maybe a little anemic, I thought.
Word salad.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it word salad. I would just say that
didn't say anything.
It didn't.
We know who's in charge of adjudicating the races.
Much.
We're completely aware of that.
So.
And the bottom line was, and nothing's going to be done. That was, no,
I think they are changing the protocols now. I would like
that's not the change I was talking.
A little more
about.
Explanation on that, but I think they are going to do something.
Nothing to see.
I would like to know what. And one of the things was and that was one of the things I thought. I said it, and I had a notebook earlier, a notebook with an overhead view of the track where they marked, and he had 2 or 3 people do it, so we know. But now I thought, put the picture up in the Stewards booth or whoever is in charge of doing it. Send a picture to the start, so every day everybody's absolutely on the same page. Don't wait for the race to go off to figure out if we're all on the same page. Put everybody on the same page right at the beginning of the day.
Of all the people involved, how is there not one person that went, no, this is not worse. Not one person saying, there's at least 27 people involved, and not one person was like, we've run this race before with these rails. We've done this before. I know how to drive to get here. I know what exit it is. I know what it is. And, that's why I thought the thing was anemic. This isn't anything new. It's like, I don't know. I wasn't surprised. I didn't expect anything to come out of it. Nobody goes to the woodshed. And there you go. But it's amazing. And I've seen some people, it's amazing it was a no contest. You can't run the race at the wrong distance and not call it a no contest. That's the explanation I wanted to hear is, what did anybody in the room, whatever the room is, say, we have to declare this a no contest? What was the time we had a couple of years ago where, was it the starting gate didn't move? and they made it the no contest. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff because at the end, I mean, am I wrong, Seth? If you make it no contest, nobody gets harmed. And of course, when I say nobody, I only care about the bettors.
Oh, I was going to say.
I only care about the bettors. I don't care about anybody else. The bettors are the customers here. I'm in a customer business. You take care of the customers.
But you have
first.
to take care of the horsemen too, because they put on the show, and the horsemen.
Well, the horse
somebody gets it.
They
could have
they
paid out
get
the
the
purse.
purse.
They could have done that. Yeah,
They could have paid out the purse.
but you're paying out the purse to essentially potentially the wrong. So that,
Right. So
I'm not saying it should have been.
The horseman wouldn't have been injured either because you didn't win the race. You won a race. You didn't win the race. But they have to protect the bettors.
That's what I'm saying. So the guy who was coming like a freight train in third and might have won with another 16th.
Yes,
saying,
I'm pretty sure.
Wait a minute. You're paying the purse to the wrong people.
Right. But they come second after. The customers always come first. I mean, that's when you walk into business school, it's the first thing they tell you. The people paying the money come first. And it would have just been easy. Just make it an all for the pick 5, make all of it, we're out of here. And I think, was that too easy a solution? What do you think the major pothole was?
I think the stewards are saying they didn't know when they declared it. That's what the story is. I have no.
Did you see the person picked up on Twitter my malfeasance?
I did. We can move on.
What?
Let me just say that.
I thought that was all.
No, he's picked up a lot of your stuff.
You think he disagreed?
I have no comment on some things on Twitter.
Okay. There you go.
It's not worth it.
I thought it was a compliment. That's how it took it.
It probably was. I'm not commenting on what you said. Let's move on. Coming up today at Capital OTB, Wednesday the 13th. I hope it's lucky. Oh, I ran into Joe Bravo the other day. I saw him at the sale, and I was wondering what was he doing in town. I looked up; he hadn't ridden in maybe a month, and so then I was walking through the boxes, and I stopped. He was sitting in the box. I stopped and chatted with him a little, and realized he's wearing a brace. So he got a little dinged up, and it just he hasn't gotten the okay yet. But he said it happened on Friday the 13th. So turned out.
What do you think,
For
Joe?
some people, it is unlucky.
Oh, here you go. You think? I don't know that he thinks this way, but it is. What do you think Joe Bravo's horse racing on the racetrack claim to fame is?
I don't know.
Besides keying my major score of the year one year, he rode a horse that beat Ghostzapper.
Oh, you're right. I wonder if that is in his.
Oh, he had.
It's got to be up in his top.
They all had. On that day, it was Travers Day. It was the King's Bishop. He was valid video and Great Notion, a huge exacta score for yours truly. And I turned to a friend of mine and said, as Ghostzapper was finishing, he'll never lose again, Ghostzapper. And he didn't. He never lost again. And I said, I got out with my life beating that horse. Because it was also, I'll tell you another funny thing about this. When Ghostzapper won his allowance race, prep for that, he was an odds-on favorite. And I was doing this show, and I said, that was one of the few times when your odds-on favorite horse and the runner, you got everything. I saw John Kimmel. I think I remember the horse they ran second. I said, you just lost to a beast. So that was one of the few times I was right. But he beat. It's a real small jockey colony that can say they finished in front of Ghostzapper. And I'm not positive about this. It was a grade 1. I don't know how many grade 1s Joe had won before then. I don't know how many opportunities he had either, because he mostly has ridden at Monmouth Park, a Jersey guy, etc. But, yep, Ghostzapper. Yeah. What I can't believe is that was 20 years ago, 22 years ago.
Again, Capital OTV today, Wednesday the 13th. It is Prize Wheel Day at the Clubhouse Racebook. So stop on by for a little extra fun down at the Clubhouse Racebook. We randomly select people to spin the prize wheel. There are vouchers, swag. I think there's usually some food vouchers for the
so it's free money. You can't lose.
Yeah, no,
you win.
You spin the wheel and you have a little extra fun. Second spot. Oh, speaking of the pick 3 bankroll,
Was it close? You went off.
I
Was
hit
it close
the first sequence, but it chalked out. I was alive for a couple $100 with a horse in the first sequence, so it could have turned out well, but it chalked out. And then that last sequence, I had the right idea. I won the battle, lost the war.
Okay.
I said to you in the morning, I had some prices in the mix, and there were prices later in the day, as evidenced by the pick 6 carryover. But yeah, I just had the wrong prices, so it was frustrating again. But we have another shot, and we'll try to do better. Coming up,
it's like you just admonished yourself.
I
the friends will try to do better.
I did. 14th tomorrow, we have the Play the Board contest down at the Clubhouse Racebook. So again, a little extra fun on Thursday, Friday, same idea. A little extra fun with a win-a-bet contest down at the Racebook. Coming up on Saturday, the Bounty Bet returns. It is the late pick 5 here at Saratoga. All you have to do is play with your Capital OTB bet account. You get a shot at that juicy bounty that you see there on the screen. Also, King of the Hill contest down at the Clubhouse Racebook. So, again, extra fun most days down at the Racebook during the Saratoga season. Also, Saturday, Fan Appreciation Day, Gallop In. So swing by and give us our chance to say thank you to you if you are a patron down in that direction. Sunday, we have the Knockout Challenge down at the Clubhouse Racebook. Also, Syndicate Special, that's closed. The team has been selected, I believe, but we wish the team a lot of good luck. Also, as I noted, there is a pick 6 carryover today, a juicy one of $158,000. So keep that in mind for this afternoon. And top of the hour, this should be fun. Here's a guy with a big weekend ahead. Mark Cassie will join us. He has Nitrogen and Lacara in the Alabama. He has the favorite in the King's Plate, the filly No Time, coming out of the Woodbine Oaks. He had a couple of nice winners within the past week and a half or so on the stakes side of things.
Field of 13 or something in the King's Plate.
It is 13.
Yeah, good for him.
And then he's got a nice runner in today's stakes race as well. We'll get a little update on Sandman, all of that with Mark Cassie, Alec DeCanza, and Julie Reedy, a couple of the staff on the Saratoga Special. Alec heading to college. He had been one of the younger members of the Saratoga Special team in the last few years, but he heads off to college. Tom Law said, hey, have him on before he leaves.
11 o'clock Monday for the Morminos. Move them in.
Get them plugged in. And Julia Reedy, a Syracuse. She may have already graduated, but I had to have her in, and so we'll talk a little bit Saratoga Special. And Tom Amella with some plays and some betting strategies, so fun conversation there as well. All of that, top of the hour. Yes. I'm Racing Across America.
Hours away from being empty nesters, as the young man. I said to people, college is costing less than high school. I cannot wait for this. But Monday at 11 a.m., unlike my days, he drew a slot. You got to move in at 11, and I expect to be done by 1 o'clock, I told the missus. So unbelievable that I had him on the air set. His first birthday he was born on Travers Eve, Bernardini. So his first birthday was Travers Day the next year. And with the last segment, he was so good. He just sat on the lap. A little bird came and sat on my binder with my PPs. And I was so afraid for Anthony that the bird would just startle. But I've never seen anything. He just sat there for at minimum, I don't want to be hyperbolic, minimum 2 minutes. The bird, and it was a birdie. Little bird just sat there. I was worried he was going to fly Anthony. We had Anthony on at 1, 3, and I think 5 was the last time he was on. He said no after that, but now he's college bound, and he was shocked to learn that his mother and father have big plans now. He literally had the life taken out of him. He thought we were going to sit in rocking chairs at home and wait for the prince to return. I go, Anthony, at high school graduation, your parents will be the ones in the back of the auditorium getting their jets on. So he's going to college on Monday, and I cannot express how much I am going to miss him every day. He's been I am 62 years of age, and he made raising a child a walk in the park. a walk in the park. So
I know in the neighborhood, you can still do a dinner a couple of times a week if you wanted to.
Yeah, but that will probably happen.
Yeah,
but
you want to wait a month or so out.
It's just different. Like in our house, like many houses, I got to go past his room every day without him there, and he's been there for 18 years. But I always kidded you. I stopped doing it, but I'm going to reverse it. I always asked you on July 29th what you remember, and that was Chuck and Di's wedding. But August 13th, now this is a horse racing one. Does this date ring a bell?
It doesn't.
Every time I see it, it's always. I think this is true. I know part of this is true. The only horse to win the Kentucky Derby debut at the spot and win. August 13th, Thursday, 1987, Randy Romero on Winning Colors. I'm not so sure any Derby winner has debuted and broken their maiden here.
Now I got to go back because Mark Hennig got a list out the other day that I'm not sure included Winning Colors.
Winning a list of what?
Debut runners that won the Kentucky Derby, and he had it going back quite a ways.
Anywhere in the United States?
Here that went on to win.
I think that the list is one. I'd like to see his list.
Maybe it was a different criteria.
I think it's a different criteria because I think the list is one horse. And I'll give you a second part of that trivia question. The runner-up was the 2-year-old filly champ of the same year. You got her?
I do not.
Epitome, Phil Oswald, who I think when Phil Oswald won his Breeders' Cup race was the youngest trainer. And then I think Craig DeLassy bumped him from that perch. I don't know who's on that perch now. I don't know if it can still be Craig after all these years.
Well, youngest?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think youngest could last forever.
Well,
I mean, it's not something that...
Like Phil was 27 and Craig was 25. So as a 21-year-old trainer...
I don't know, but it seems like 25 could last for a long time.
Well, it's so far lasting 27 years.
Well, you said you weren't sure.
Yeah, I'm not positive. That's what I said. But like you said, going by the thing like, no 19-year-olds, got the lead on a horse over to win the Breeders' Cup. So that's it. You ready for the play of the day?
I am.
The DePaulo play of the day.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hey everybody, Steve Beck back with you for the Wednesday DePaula play of the day here on Capital OTB as we start Alabama week. And things are starting to wind down. Alabama, Travers, and then closing week. We're on our way back from Virginia from the Arlington Million at Colonial. And then we're headed to Toronto for King's Plate on Saturday. First chance to see a plate. Meanwhile, to start the week for the DePaula play of the day, I'm interested in Out of the Fog, the 9-2 in that sixth race, state bred maiden 50s going short, 5.5 on the grass. Going to be no better than third choice, and the two favorites. Chad's got the one horse, Ari, and then there's Paz, the soy sauce, who's the 8-5 favorite. Neither of them are better than Jenna Antonucci's Out of the Fog. Javier Castellano takes over. And this Fog of War gelding should get a very good trip. And if he runs back to the last race, and if Javier can time it a little better, Out of the Fog is going to be your winner. So let's get lucky, start the week right. Back with you tomorrow. Good luck.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
9-race card with a jump this week, Seth. And the opener is the Michael Walsh Novice. And this is about the jockeys, right?
No. I ask when I have the.
I thought they're not, because I don't recognize. Do you recognize?
No.
Okay. They don't have too many mounts. They don't have too many anything.
That may just be a coincidence, but it has something to do with the conditions, maybe. Yeah, not one prior to two. It's wins within a certain date or without a certain.
For the horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had them explain it before, and I always kind of forget but it is a number of wins or the date of wins for the winners. Right. 2, 6, 4, and 1 for me. Walk the Warrior on top. Comes in off a third place finish down in Nashville in the latest start. That was the second start of the season off a win prior. But if you go back, and this is something I like to see, and I think is important, and pretty much everybody in the game agrees, horse has a nice win at Colonial last year. So has won over a racetrack surface or racetrack setup as well. So comes in, and I think decent form. And again, has that win on the racetrack prior. I'll tilt slightly towards Walk the Warrior. Roja of Redemption in the second spot goes out for Jack Fisher, one of the leading jump trainers, and comes in with a big win at Colonial. So another one that has run well over a racetrack configuration. Another one coming in very good form. Ran a flat race just prior at Laurel with a good second place finish. Probably the one to beat, in my opinion. Evie's Prince in the third spot. Nice little second place finish in the Steinman back on Belmont Stakes weekend. Didn't quite follow that up last time in the Kaiser Memorial, so I'm a little concerned off of that last effort. But that race two back, I think, is good enough. So 2, 6, 4, and 1.
Now, I do not have the handicapping angle that I had the last time we had a jump, but I'm 8, 2, 6. I agree with Seth on 2 of the horses.
I wondered the same thing about as I looked through some of the jockeys who were kind of light on starts. But I'm wondering if that is a function of Colonial. Maybe has their 3 races tomorrow. Maybe some of them just
I don't know. I always thought, okay.
If there's 3 down there and 1 up here, if it's a grade 1, they're going to come up. If it's the Shepherd or something, they'll come. But on a day like this, maybe they stay. Second race today at Saratoga, optional claimer starter allowance, the 1-turn mile out of the chute.
Now, I'm 6-4-2 in this race, and I'm happy. The unlimited potential, the 5, who I've left completely off, Seth only has in the third spot, is 8-5 on the morning line. And we know how good David is, but, I don't, the race in the slop, I think our audience knows how I feel about that. I mean, I think it's being driven by the multiple 91s, right? I mean, the power of the buyer's speed figure. If unlimited potential doesn't meet that, high mark, boy, everybody else is in the boat. And so if that's the case, I went to, My Noble Knight, who is actually in the seat that I don't most prefer, which is, this is 9-5 horse. I'm on the outside. I'm hoping clearly that My Noble Knight maybe goes up to 2-1. I'm not going to be silly and say 5-2, but My Noble Knight goes up a little bit for Tom Amos for a second margin of error, like what they did there, off the $25,000 claim. And Quiet Wisdom, who I think could be sneaky good here after rooting at Finger Lakes, 6-4-2.
I have My Noble Knight on top as well. I was also slightly concerned about the post position, but I think 6 is within the realm. I will say this: if you go to the NYRA website, they have a page where you can see how post positions do at various distances and what. But they pretty much parse it out to sprints or a mile and over. They should have parsed out. The chute should have its own separate category in there. So I will toss that out as a suggestion.
I can't stick around today, but I'll show you how tough that is. With about 4 mouse clicks on my laptop, I can have that for you.
Yeah.
And it's not yeoman's effort to get it out to you, because I think you make a great point. And I'll tell you just a quick thing about these mile races and a lot of races. It's like horses not on the lead early in the race. So we've had, at the pace call, a few, but many winners are like 4 or 5 lengths on the dirt off the lead early, because at Saratoga, I keep opening quarter and the pace call. I would just take the 45-degree angle and be 4 lengths off the lead and take my chances.
I think it was maybe the last mile race. Like somebody won from the 8, which doesn't happen. Now I have to go back and look, or you can find it maybe. But there was
this is going to be too easy.
There was an outside post position the other day that I don't think it had a victory in the over the mile shoot that came through. So it can be done, but you want to be inside. So 6 Mile Noble Knight, I think, is in the comfort zone. Then I used the 2 Cantermachi horses, Margin of Error and Unlimited Potential. I'm with you. I think Unlimited Potential, on a best effort belongs, but I don't think the last few stand out as compared to this bunch in any fashion necessarily. We'll root for our Unlimited Potential, of course, because part of the ownership group, America's Pastime, our friends' locally based partnership group. So for me, in race number 2, it's Saratoga, 6, 4, 5, and 3.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The finale on Sunday, one from the number 8 post position, Johnny V, 9-1, trained by a man who has won the Alabama Stakes.
I don't remember now.
Paulo Lobo.
Oh, it was that horse he brought up from South America that was kind of a puzzle and looked good. Yeah.
You want to talk about, Birdstone having, she wins the Oaks, lays off to the Alabama. This is Farda Amiga 2002 that I'm referring to, and lays off to the Breeders' Cup and wins a 3-year-old championship because Imperial Gesture she beat. They lost. I think that was a Zeri's demonstrative performance in 02 at Arlington Park.
Yeah, that horse. Tuscan Gold was in there. Pandagate was in there.
Told you Tuscan Gold was by freak. No Bien.
Nimal. Hadn't been seen since January down in Uruguay, but most of the races had been in Brazil. It had 4 wins and 10 starts, but $52,000. Don't be fooled. I always say take a wait and see approach for the South American horses because they can go either way. But you can never judge by the money won because even in graded stakes race, big stakes races down there, the purses are. So 4 wins, $52,000 comes up and. Yeah, nice win on Sunday in the finale that helped propel that.
Probably the Breeders' Cup that is less known for the horse racing than the news.
Oh, was that the
Drexel guys?
Pick 6 scandal. Did you set up the third race?
Nope. I just wanted to get that Pablo Lobo moment in. As you said, the 8th post position won a mile race. Mile 16th on the end of these are 2-year-old New York State bred fillies.
7, 8, 6, and 4 for me, and I'll start with my dark horse play of the day because, as I said, I went with my second horse, and I might want to switch these up now because I looked, and I still like my top pick. They both have some quirkiness to them in here, but at 20-1, Mia Sophia is my dark horse play of the day. I have it 7, 8, 6, and 4. Mia Sophia, though, I eventually, I handicap, and then I go back and look for the dark horse. And normally it is the top pick, but Mia Sophia was a dark horse play for me earlier. And off of that debut effort, I still had the horse obviously in the mix, but I wasn't thinking top pick then. But the more I looked, I say it all the time. This horse has some nice win early breeding. Golden Sense on top. Golden Sense is a nice win early sire. This year, the numbers aren't as good as in previous years, but still okay. This year, 50 first-time starters, 5 wins, 6 seconds, 4 thirds. I realize this is a second-time starter, but I pull those numbers up to, highlight win early types of sires. The Dam has produced a couple of runners that won early. Always Charming won in the second start. Honest Banker won the first 2 starts of the career. And I've said this before. Now, as I say, I had this as a dark horse play of the day in the debut effort. That was sprinting on the dirt here and was well beaten in that effort at 18-1. So I think we're a legit 20-1 today. But we stretch out on the grass. And I've said it before. These win early types, if they don't get it done in start 1, start 2, start 3, but then switch up, do something different, like stretch out on the grass, take another shot, another look. So my dark horse play of the day today brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both in downtown Saratoga on Broadway. Dark horse play, race number 3, horse number 8, Mia Sophia. But as I say, I put Riz on top, and Riz is also a little bit quirky. Honest Mischief is a sire that I caught onto last year and not necessarily win early. So far this year, 17 first-time starters, 1 win, 5 seconds. But overall, with the 2-year-olds, 96 starters, 96 2-year-old runners, 16 wins, 13 seconds, 13 thirds. So good numbers there for Honest Mischief. And this one isn't a first-time starter, has experience under the belt. That said, with turf routes overall, Honest Mischief, 10 runners, 0 wins, a second, 2 thirds. So that had me a little concerned. But
I have to interrupt. You have buried the lead.
I didn't bury the lead. I'm setting it up. Like there's very mixed.
None of that matters. One thing matters.
Very mixed results. Adam Rice, the trainer, the last 5 years, he's 4 for 6 bringing horses into Saratoga, and one of those wins was on the turf in a maiden special weight at 1.16 miles. Hence, Riz
and
on
Monster
top.
B is out of that rotation now. We've seen this movie before.
Yeah, coming in from Prescott.
That's all you need to know.
Couple of sprints on the synthetic, stretching on the turf. So Riz over Mia Sophia, and in the third spot, Princess Celine. This is a first-time starter from Brad Cox. Volatile, 39 first-time starters, 2 wins, 5 seconds, 4 thirds, but maybe more importantly, all of those were done on the dirt. So not sure what we'll get on the turf today. The one Stylish Gem is maybe a little bit interesting for George Weaver. I'm 7-8, 6-4.
And even more about Adam Rice, it's always the same exact thing. It's the Presque Isle sprints. It's like, I know he's located there, etc. And I'm just guessing here, but I like my guesses. Seth and I have 5 of the 9 in the main body covered. Zelina taking a shot. Little Red Feather Racing. Michelle Nevin sends out the Osprey Kitten's Joy. I'm inside, taking a shot at double-digit odds. Princess Celine, that Seth mentions. Brad Cox to be feared from Michael Dubb. And then She's Country. I don't like 5-2 when I'm guessing, so I put the George Weaver runner in third. 2-6-4.
Race number 4 this afternoon. Again, they come out of the 1 mile chute, and it is an optional claimer with a non-winners of 2 condition.
And we have 6 in here. So the I'm 1-5-2 Drake's Passage. I have probably, this year beaten this drum too often. Maybe that's the bias of, the commentator stakes, earlier in last year. So Drake's Passage is inside going a mile. I think he's going to be a major player in here. Gun Party is 4-5. The type of thing is, I'm throwing out the muddy effort for Drake's Passage, and last summer the numbers were much better than this, and maybe we're working towards a good number. The cycle indicates for me. So Gun Party to me, I would almost take a head-to-head Drake's Passage against Gun Party, coming off of the 1X victory at Churchill as a favorite, then Sheriff Bianco. 1-5-2.
I went 5, 1, 6, and 3. I switched them up, but I have no argument that these two are fairly closely matched, particularly if Drake's Passage can get back to those pass numbers, probably the one to beat. But Gun Party has more recency and just seems to be maybe moving in the right direction to put a couple of nice numbers together, that put a couple of wins together. We'll see this afternoon, but I do think that is possible with the series, the last few races. Drake's Passage, however, comes in off not as good recent form as the top pick, but again, there are back numbers that are very dangerous, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us hop back closer to those. And then Stowaway in the third spot with Beckman Trainee, with Irad Ortiz on board. Hasn't been seen in well over a year. That is the huge question mark. Out of the remaining, that was the one that intrigued me most. Eliminate Sheriff Bianco, I think, also on best efforts belong in the conversation. I have a 5, 1, 6, and 3.
On the fifth, Claimers 32,000, racing 7/8.
7, 3, 2, and 6. Sagamore Mischief comes out of an allowance race and drops into a open claimer, just a plain vanilla claimer, and I think the class move is going to be beneficial. There are some races at this level or a little below down the page, mixed bag. Some were okay, some not. So again, it's a tepid move in that direction. From another mother, Irad Ortiz on board for Ray Handel off the claim, moves up off the claim. But another one, you go down the page, there are races in and around this level that, again, mixed bag, but if we get a better effort belongs. And Stolen Base going out for Jay Provenzano's Flying P on a class drop. And again, with Flying P being the owner, I'm not concerned about the class drop. I think they shop around for some wins. And this one comes in some nice form, shopping for the win. I can make a strong case there, as evidenced by the short price on the morning line. 7, 3, the 2 entry, and 6.
I mentioned it the other day with an entry where I didn't think you were getting much help at all from Peak Performer in the race. Here, I took the 1A, but I am getting help, I believe, from Call Me Fast, taking blinkers off. But I want Gun It on top. I like the last most recent effort. I thought was getting all the worst of it against Tougher. Drops back to lower after that move up. Now drops down below the $40,000 claim 2 races back. Stolen Base, good effort. The most recent, that was those capital B claimers that are typically for 3-year-olds or 3L something. And then I have Sagamore Mischief, who I think will definitely benefit from the cutback. 1A, 2, and 7.
6 race this afternoon.
Maybe we'll break now.
Oh,
So
right,
5,
after
7.
5. Yep, it's 5.
Short day today.
Yep.
You'll be back, in Zukasa, early tonight.
5, break it, race 5.
You can shower, change, and go out for dinner with plenty of time.
We'll see how that works.
All
right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more from this Wednesday card. Stay tuned. It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on a Wednesday morning. Again, gorgeous Wednesday morning. If you're headed up to the track today, I'm giving you a thumbs up. If you can't make it, Racebook. Again, you can spin the prize wheel perhaps and a little extra something. But either way, you can try to win a little extra something in race number 6, State Bred Maiden Claimers, 5.5 on the grass.
513, Pandemic Hero for me. You put this horse on top. I think it's reasonable to say you were putting a red flare pen line through the most recent effort, and I am. But the sprint race at Monmouth Park and the previous ones for a tag in New York, I think warrant, in the mix at 9-2. For second, Out of the Fog, who I believe is Steve Bick's play of the day. I like the first 2 starts. Javier Castellano, not having the meat of his life, gets the mount in the third career start. All have been for this tag. And then Paz the Soy Sauce, 513. Like sushi?
No.
I'm with you.
Well,
I'm a pass.
It's one of those,
I'm a hard pass.
It's one of those foods I say I don't like, and I've never tried it. It's
okay.
It just doesn't even sound appealing. 5, 3, 7, and 1. Pandemic
the whole
Hero on
country
top.
Getting on by it, but Seth is like,
no go for me. I'm with you though. The Finger Lakes race, they went back to the dirt. It was a stakes race out there. It's just, you look at the rest of the runs, it's an aberration. So I'll look for this one to rebound. Paz the Soy Sauce in the second spot. Tom Morley, trainee, seemed to take to the grass last time. Ran 4th, but a close-up 4th after having shown some oomph. So I'm going to look for this one to be a player in here. Ori in the 3rd spot off a near miss last time in a very similar event. Just seems to be moving in the right direction for Mike Maker. So for me, I have it 5, 3, 7, and 1.
2L claimers going 6.5 in race 7.
7, 2, 8, and 6. I will put Melly Mel on top. The drop, again, I mentioned this earlier, the drop would be a concern, but it's Flying P. I think they're just saying, hey, what's going to get us a win up here at Saratoga? They put some money in the bank. And, I think off the last couple of starts, the last few starts, they may be saying we got to move down a little bit, and maybe they go a little bit extra to get a win. Wouldn't shock me. So I'll put that one on top. Second spot, Our Lady Peace goes out for Safi Joseph. Off a nice try on the return to dirt down at Gulfstream last time. I think is going to be interesting on the move up to Saratoga here, and I think it's going to be a square fit with this group. And Spirit of Esther, I'm reasonably certain this was a play of the day for me in the last start. We had a decent second place finish, and that was relatively a short time ago, a couple of weeks. And so I like that they dropped to this level. They got the good second, and then they're saying, couple of weeks and we're ready to go and jump back in. Spirit of Esther, I think, is a player in the 7th. 7, 2, 8, and 6.
I just flipped it around a little bit. I have to say, I don't think I've ever used this one. I have this vibe that Safi Joseph, already completing Friday's card, he's had a rock solid meet. It's not always about winners. For me, it's about your horses outrunning your odds. That's what it is for me. That's my, you can't blame jockeys who are always riding 30-1 shots, having 3% winners. So Our Lady of Peace. Now, here's the big reach. As I was teasing Seth about bearing the lead about Adam Rice, this is all about Safi Joseph for me. Why? You can't get a dirt start on a fast track. I have synthetic, I have turf sprints, and I have a muddy surface. So it's just about good magic, IRAD, and Our Lady Peace. I have the 7 from they're adding blinkers, which is intriguing because horse only ran with blinkers once before the 7, and it was so. And then the 8, Spirit of Esther, but 2, 7, and 8 in the 7th.
All right. This time I remembered. It's a commercial at race number 7. We'll take it. We'll come back and complete our look at the Wednesday card. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, The Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back to Handicappers Report on a Wednesday, our stake section today. I continue to say this. Why don't they put the name in the racing form? They always just put the New York Stallion Series, but I'm relatively certain today is the Statue of Liberty. I'm relatively certain.
I'd go with that because the Cab Calloway is coming down the pike, but the girls' version, yes.
3-year-old Phil. I'm being told by the.
They don't put in how many
control.
runnings it's been either.
But I can never figure why they don't put the name. I just can't figure that out. 3-year-old fillies. Again, New York Stallion Series, a mile on the grass.
Sounds like you've spent some time. I'm going to get to 812 in a moment, but I would bet a Pepsi. This is, I think, the most interesting story of the day, and I am never interested in stories around the racetrack. It's about the sport. Number 4, Lazy Y Legacy. That jockey is riding on the Oregon Fair circuit. I don't know that any jockey has ever come in, the Grants Pass, the famous track that has the soccer fields in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's you got to look it up, folks. Jay Samuels, 36 races this year, and they are the Oregon Fair circuit. That's if there is not a jockey change, I would hunt this guy down for a story because, family vacation, what is it? But he's not in my mix at 30-1. But I'm never interested in a story on the racetrack except the horses and betting and fairness, etc. I am 812. Seth is in the same ballpark. Nona Lynn gets my top pick on the outside. 3rd race of the year, 4th race in the career. Chad Brown Barn, I'm signing up for 4-1, taking on winners for the first time. And this series has been around a long time. I've always considered it the equal for a big purse of allowance non-winners of 1.5. I mean, years ago, we used to get plenty of maidens. Disco Star, who I couldn't quite get home at 6-1 in the Susie O'Kane, shortens up, and then Queen Atlas. 812.
I'm 158-3, and Mark Cassie in the house. He'll be up at 10 o'clock when we kick off Racing Across America, and he has Disco Star coming off the second in the Susie O'Kane. And if you look at this race, what do we have? A couple coming off wins, including one coming off a debut maiden breaker. So, you're searching around for some horses in good form, and I think off of that Susie O'Kane last time in a very similar race, it was a mile and a 16th. This is a mile, but I think that should set up Disco Star nicely for this afternoon. Boston's Finest in the second spot, Bruce Brown trainee that was 3rd in the Susie O'Kane in a series of improving efforts, so could be primed nicely. And Nona Lynn in the 3rd spot for Chad Brown off a nice maiden breaker last time that certainly puts the horse in the hunt. In the 8th, the New York Stallion Series, 158-3.
2 shows in a row where I'm on the dais and we're good for time. And this is how you make awful television. I don't know if Mark remembers, but when we were at the Breeders' Cup 2016, I said he was doing the media thing, and I said, so when Teppin goes in the Hall of Fame, and I think he was somewhat startled because middle-distance filly horses on turf, Manila's the greatest one I've ever seen. He got in his last year of eligibility. Mark, were you surprised when I said that? We were at the Breeders' Cup, and I said, before her last race, and I said, Teppin's going in the Hall of Fame. You looked a little startled. And I'm like, I mean, Well, that's what we've talked about before. We were just saying that middle distance fillies on the turf, but that race at Ascot put her over the top, and she got beat by Taurus, who got the dream trip on.
That's what I'd say. Really, maybe the best race Tepin ever ran was when she got beat.
Yeah.
And Mark says the best race she ever ran was maybe when she got beat. Yeah.
Inside was so good that day, and Rosario never gave it up. And Tepin, that come out of it. Yep, it was a great performance. Like you said, even he knows it's like winning isn't always when they were at their best. It's just the easiest to see. So in the 9th set, we're going to get out with Open Company's 2-year-old fillies dashing 5.5 on the turf.
6, 10, 12, and 1. The 12 is a couple deep on the AE, so if that one doesn't get in, take a look at the 5. But Delightful Darling, Flame Away, a nice sire of win early types. The Dam has produced some win early types. Daring Darling won the career debut. Northern Flame won in the 3rd start. Minister Strike won the first 2. On Alert won the 2nd start. So I thought there was plenty win early here. And this one is just barely missed living up to it with 2 close-up second place finishes. Gets back to the turf today. 3rd start. We'll put Delightful Darling on top. 2nd spot. Lit Ship. Midshipman, okay with first-time starters. There was a sibling called Capa Castello that won the first 3 starts in the career, albeit in Panama. So make of that what you will. But Catch the Smoke won a career debut. Ed Ludum won the career debut. So I think the Joe Sharp trainee is bred on the win early side of things. And then again, I'm too deep with Keto Drink for Shug in the 2nd start off a decent debut. In the 9th, 6, 10, 12, and 1.
So this is at least the 5th time that in a field of about 10, we have 6 covered. Now, you want to look, it's, you got to put an asterisk next to the star because you took the 12, who's not in the main body. So we got to kind of put a star. We have 5 of the 10, etc. I'm just guessing, and I came up with 4, 5, 9, an offspring of Into Mischief. Will Walden's runner. Quality workouts right from the first one. They only list 8. I have Quiet Street for 2nd, Bill Mott's Godolphin runner, and then 2 Bits making the 2nd career start. First time stayed in and off the turfer and raced moderately well, 4, 5, and 9. There was a point at which Tepin was 6 feet away from probably being about 10 for 10. She had lost by like a head and a nose in her only first 2 defeats. But
Tepin was very,
you notice good. They know who beat them. They always know who beat them. They always know who beat them.
Yeah. Understandably.
Yes.
And again, up top of the hour, Mark Cassie will join us. He has a big weekend ahead. Nitrogen and Lacara in the Alabama favorite running in the King's Plate up at Woodbine. He's had a couple of nice stakes wins over the past week. We'll take a look at as well. Alec DeConza and Julie Reedy from the Saratoga Special will jump in as well. We'll catch up with them and find out what the season's been like for some of the Saratoga Special staff, some of the younger members, and Tom Amello will join us as well with some horses to watch and some betting strategies. All of that at 10 o'clock, top of the hour.
We don't talk about it very much. We kind of give lore as the greatest miler we've ever produced. Tepin might be the greatest female miler we've ever produced. Certainly legitimate in the Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. He stays, I go. Kicking off Alabama week. It couldn't get much better, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.